Did you know that there are 10 questions that can trigger desire, confusion, and even obsession in a woman's mind? These are not compliments, flattery, or pickup lines. They are intentional questions designed to break through her emotional defenses and plant a seed she won't be able to ignore. While most men talk about themselves, you will make her reveal everything. Machiavelli understood this well. True power doesn't lie in what you express, but in what you make the other person reveal. A woman connects emotionally with the man who makes her talk, not the one trying to impress her. These 10 questions may seem innocent, but they go much deeper. They awaken desire, mystery, and contradiction, everything her subconscious needs to idealize you. This video isn't for those after cheap tricks. It's for strategists. Men who understand that real seduction isn't about what you say, but how you make her feel when she's with you. Feeling is the battleground where logic becomes irrelevant and desire takes control. Listen carefully, because if you use these questions with the right tone, at the right moment, and with silence as your ally, you'll provoke what thousands of men try and fail to do daily. This knowledge isn't from modern dating advice or pre-made lines. It comes from the psychology of power, the unseen game of influence, desire, and emotional manipulation. If you're interested in learning more, if you want to understand the female mind from a deeper, strategic, and realistic perspective, like and subscribe now, because what you're about to learn isn't taught on average channels. These are the 10 questions that can drive a woman wild, according to Machiavellian logic, and they might make her choose you, even if she has better options. Let's begin. Most men fail at seduction because they don't know what to ask. They ask predictable, safe, and boring questions. Safety doesn't create desire, but you aren't here to be average. You're here to become the emotional trigger she never saw coming. To do that, you need unforgettable questions. So listen carefully. From this moment, I'll reveal the 10 questions that can drive a woman wild if used with Machiavellian precision. Here's the first one. Question number 1. What kind of man is hard for you to forget, even if he wasn't good for you? This isn't just a question. It's an incursion into her emotional subconscious. You aren't asking about her ideal type. You're asking her to connect with her deepest addiction, the man who left a mark on her, not for his kindness, but for the emotional chaos he created. Think about it. Almost every woman has had a man who was bad for her, but whom she still remembers. A man who made her feel alive, desired confused emotions that, though destructive, awakened parts of her no good guy ever could. When you ask this, you're forcing her to reconnect with that memory, bringing her dark side to the surface, her contradictions, and her craving for the forbidden. And, most importantly, you're the one doing it with a calm voice, an unjudging gaze, and a mature, non-need intention. Do you know what happens next? As she responds, she doesn't just talk about the man she can never forget. She starts projecting that same emotional intensity onto you. You're the one who opened that door, who dared to touch a topic most men avoid. You made her speak not about what she expects, but about what still hurts and what she secretly desires. These types of questions aren't answered with logic. They're answered with memories, emotions, and the body. When she speaks from that place, she associates you with intensity and emotional depth. That's power. That's influence. But there are rules to follow. Don't laugh or judge her if she mentions a fool. Even if she says he was toxic, don't correct her. Just listen. Affirm with statements like, "That says a lot about you. I like what you're revealing." That gives her permission to continue opening up. Don't interrupt her. Even if she goes silent, let her think. Silence intensifies emotion. Don't tell your own story. It's not the time to compete. Let her expand emotionally. Just observe. Smile calmly. Keep your energy composed. Let her associate you with depth, not neediness. When should you use this question? Not in the first 3 minutes of conversation, but not after a month either. Use it when there's comfort between you, a pressure-free interaction, maybe a slow walk, a dimly lit room, a soft conversation. Don't ask it. Over-text it loses its impact. This is about sensation. When you ask it, look at her calmly and firmly, then go quiet. After she speaks, don't offer advice. Just say something like, "I think I understand you much more now," and smile. You've just entered an emotional level few men ever reach. Now she'll see you differently. Now, let's move to question number 2. A question that not only reveals desire, but danger as well. What's the most dangerous thing someone has ever awakened in you? This question is a silent bomb. an emotional trigger, a key that opens not just her story, but her deepest drive. When you ask it, you're planting the idea that you too might be dangerous, but in a way that is emotionally irresistible. This is what sparks desire. Not the man who begs, not the one who plays games, but the man who is subtly dangerous because he knows how to touch emotional nerves that others can't reach. When you ask this, her mind freezes because no one has ever asked her that. No one has dared, and that shifts your energy completely. You're no longer just another man. You're the trigger, the detonator of dark, intense, emotionally charged memories. She pause, breathe deeply, and probably say, "I'm not sure if I should tell you this." Right there, don't pressure her. Hold her gaze with a soft smile and say, "It's okay. Sometimes danger is beautiful too." You've just invited her to explore her shadow with you. When a woman feels she can show her dark side and be accepted without judgment, it creates an emotional intimacy that is nearly addictive. Why? Because most men only want to see her light side, her sweetness, her prettiness. But you're stepping into her wild, untamed territory, telling her you can handle it. That creates a sensation of emotional safety mixed with excitement. Safety plus risk is what drives a woman wild. Let's break down why this question is so powerful. It pulls her out of her comfort zone and forces her to reflect on something she hasn't rehearsed, making her vulnerable and authentic. She connects with you through risk. And in attachment psychology, connections formed in emotionally risky moments tend to be more intense and memorable. By answering, she's giving you the image of the energy that shakes her. Soul. And you are right there in front of her, activating that sensation. Now, here is a Machiavellian tip. After her answer, if you say something like, "Interesting, I get the feeling you are hiding something even more dangerous." You are doing 3 things at once. You subtly challenge her, make her laugh out of discomfort, and spark curiosity about yourself. Now she starts to wonder, what could I awaken in this man? Does he also have something dark, something wild, something he is not showing me? That silent game, that unspoken tension, is what hooks her. And lastly, do not use this question just anywhere. Wait until there is a vibe of complicity, a moment of trust where she feels you are not playing, but genuinely exploring. This could be during a deep conversation, after an intense experience watching a meaningful film, sharing a personal story, or even in a long, comfortable silence. And if, after asking this question, you smoothly change the subject, she will keep thinking about it. She will replay it mentally, and without knowing why, she will keep associating you with the emotion you awakened in her. That's when you become unforgettable. Now we move to question number 3. A question that not only disarms her mind, but reveals what she tries to hide when she starts feeling something for you. What signals does your body give when someone starts to attract you, but you do not want it to show? This question is not just clever, it is strategically brilliant. Why? Because it gives you access to a realm most men never dare to enter. Nonverbal language. When desire is still in the denial phase, you are entering her subconscious not as an observer, but as an elegant provocateur. By asking her this, you are silently saying, "I want to know how your body behaves when you lie about your attraction." That exposes her, but doesn't make her feel attacked. It makes her feel watched. And for many women, that is intensely attractive when it comes from a man who radiates control and mystery. She will most likely react with a nervous smile. Maybe she will lower her gaze, cross her legs, or touch her hair. And without realizing it, she will already be giving you the answers. She won't say out loud, but you won't react like an excited boy. You will look at her calmly with a subtle smile, as if you already know that this discomfort means you are on the right path. Because this question triggers self-awareness in her. It forces her to observe herself, and that makes her body more present, more alert, and more responsive every time she speaks to you even. If she tries to hide it, do you see the trick? The question isn't about you, but the answer ties you directly to her way of expressing desire. It's a subtle game, and you are the one holding the reins. Now, you may be asking, why does this question work so well? Let me explain. It activates her emotional brain. Talking about body language means speaking from the body, not from logic. It connects her to you on a sensory level. It forces her to show covert vulnerability because even if she doesn't say, "I like you," if she answers you honestly, she is confessing how you can tell if one day she does ignore, if she already does and is hiding it. It positions you as a reader of emotions, not as one of those men who wait for obvious signals, but as someone who can decode her hidden language. And here comes the Machiavellian twist. When she responds with something like, "Well, sometimes I smile more than usual or get nervous," you say, "Interesting, you just did that now." Then look at her with a pause and steady gaze. That disarms her because it creates a moment of micro-tension, charged with silent eroticism and emotional vibration that doesn't need to be sexual to be intense. The key here is not to overdo it. Do not laugh. Do not flirt like a teenager. Just observe and make her feel subtly exposed in a way she actually enjoys. This kind of interaction is unforgettable because it makes her feel desired without it being said, read without being invaded. Neurologically, this activates dopamine, curiosity, attraction, and most of all, the idea that you notice more than you reveal. A tip: use this question in a moment of calm intimacy, not when there is noise or distraction. Ask it when the atmosphere allows for pauses, eye contact, and observation. Then let her process it, because if she senses that you can read her microsignals, her body will no longer be able to lie to you the next time she sees you. Now we move to question number 4, a question that awakens her instinct to protect and her need for deep emotional connection. What is your most secret weakness? The one only someone truly special could discover. This question is not curiosity. It is an intimate invitation, a sophisticated way of saying, "I want to enter your emotional world without invading it." What makes this question powerful is that it blends two forces, vulnerability and exclusivity. You are not asking about just any flaw. You are asking her for a confession, but not just any confession one. She would only reveal to someone who makes her feel truly special. If she gives it to you, she is already validating you as that someone. Often, a woman will not respond with a direct answer. She might say something like, "I'm not sure I should say this." That's where the magic happens. Her hesitation is not rejection, it's tension. It's a test. It's a game. You can respond with, "You don't have to say it, but now I'm already imagining it." That sparks her imagination. You give her power but maintain control over the effect. She sees you as someone who doesn't force connection, but inspires sincerity without demanding it. In the psychology of desire, that is one of the most powerful keys to entering her mind. If she answers, analyze her response carefully because it reveals where you can enter, how to speak to her, and what kind of energy disarms her. Now we move to question number 5, a question that reveals what truly captivates her when she starts to lose control without realizing it. What does a man do that makes you feel in danger, yet you still want him more? This question awakens desire from the core of inner conflict. It strikes right at the intersection of the instinct for safety and the craving for the forbidden. You are making her think about what gives her emotional adrenaline, not what is good for her, but what dominates her. When a woman starts talking about that kind of man, she is tapping into her emotional chaos zone. If you can identify that archetype, you can subtly embody it without copying toxic behaviors. For example, if she says, "I am attracted to men who do not need me, but still choose me," you've just struck gold. She's telling you that selective detachment turns on her desire. If you already project that energy, she will begin to associate you with that emotional figure. Important, this question isn't about making her feel unsafe. It's about discovering her emotional limit and moving just at the edge. That is the Machiavellian essence seduction through the mind, generating tension, being emotionally present without giving away your soul too soon. If you do it right, she won't know whether to feel protected or in danger, and that is why she will remember you for a very long time. Question number 6 is designed to break her logic and lead her to imagine scenarios with you without even realizing it. What is the craziest thing you would do if no one ever knew it was you? This question is not looking for a funny story. It's crafted to activate her hidden mind, the part of her that thinks, fantasizes, desires, but never says it aloud. When you ask this, you're not asking for a confession. You are giving her permission to break her own rules, even if only for a moment. This psychologically creates a feeling of emotional liberation linked to you because you were the one who opened that door. And that door isn't easily forgotten. Often the woman will laugh and say, "I don't know if I should say it." Perfect. That is the goal, to make her think it, to make her imagine it, and to make you the one associated with that wild thought. You don't need the full answer. What matters is that you provoked her to imagine it. And if you want to take it one step further, you can say, you don't have to say it, just thinking it, we already share it. With that, you establish an invisible connection, a silent pact. From that point forward, everything that happens between you feels like a mental game charged with tension, complicity, and desire. Because the forbidden, when suggested with elegance, holds incomparable power. Now, we move to question number 7. A question that not only reveals her emotional past, but shows you how she reacts when she begins to fall in love. How do you behave when you start falling for someone but you do not want to admit it? This question is deceptively simple and dangerously effective. It touches the exact spot where many women begin to lose control the moment they feel they are falling but are fighting against it. The fascinating part is that you are not asking if she has fallen in love. You are asking how she hides it, how she represses it, how she denies it, even when she is burning inside. And why is that so powerful? Because as she answers, she is reconstructing in her mind all the times it has happened. If you have already sparked even a trace of attraction, her brain will start whispering, I am starting to do that with you. You are forcing her to self-analyze, using you as the trigger. If she says something like, I pull away or act cold so it doesn't show, you can reply with a soft smile. So now I know, if you pull away, it means I am starting to affect you. At that moment, you strike her mind, her emotion, and her logic all at once. She may deny it, she may laugh it off, but she cannot unhear it. This question leaves a trace, a tiny doubt that can grow into an emotional obsession. Now question number 8. A question not about her, but about the men who left the deepest marks. And if you understand her answer, you can become one of them. What left the biggest mark on you from a man, even if he is no longer in your life? This question is a camouflaged emotional bomb. You are not talking about the present nor the future. You are diving into her deepest emotional archive, the gallery of unforgettable men. Pay attention, you are not asking who it was, but what he did. What gesture, attitude, or moment was etched into her emotional memory. That gives you something far more valuable than a name, a pattern, a map of what leaves a mark on her. If she says, he made me feel like I was the only one, even though we barely spoke, you just found gold. She is telling you that she values silent intensity, non-invasive presence, a gaze that captures without words. If you already project that energy, you are planting the seed of that memory, but with your face on it. The Machiavellian strategy is clear here. You are making her reconstruct a powerful memory in your presence, and the brain cannot distinguish between remembering and reliving. So, you become the new frame of that old emotion. By association, you begin to etch yourself into her subconscious. This question also reveals what kind of emotional energy leaves a lasting impact on her. And if you understand that, you can design your behavior with surgical precision. Because seduction is not always about impressing. Sometimes it's about knowing how to recreate an impact with a different presence, yours. Now, we move to question number 9. A question that seems harmless, but can ignite an emotional fantasy so strong that it makes you her favorite thought without her realizing it. Has it ever happened that someone attracts you and you do not understand why? This is a trap question, one of the most potent if used well. Why? Because it forces her to admit something that escapes logic. Irrational attraction. You are asking if she has ever felt desire, curiosity, attachment, or even obsession without a clear reason. The trick is that confession includes you. Even if she does not say it aloud, as she begins to think of her answer, you simply watch her without rushing, as if you already know what she is going to say. If she says, yes, it has happened to me, and it really confused me, you can reply, sometimes the inexplicable is the most real. Then stay silent. That silence echoes, it lingers, and she begins to wonder, is this happening to me with him? This kind of question causes an emotional short circuit. Why? Because it activates something in psychology called cognitive dissonance. When what I feel does not align with what I believe. And what do we humans do with that? We rationalize it. We try to explain the feeling, and in doing so, we intensify it. That is how the mind works. You are not saying, "You're attracted to me." You are saying, "Have you ever felt this for someone like me?" And someone like me is never spoken directly and is suggested, and what is suggested stays in the mind far longer than what is explicit. Now, the final question, question number 10, the most strategic of all. A question that plants a thought she will not be able to remove because it leads her to imagine you as if you were already part of her life. If someone could understand you without you having to explain anything, what the place would they have in your life? This is not just a question. It is a silent insinuation, a seed dropped straight into her emotional mind. You are not asking her to give you a place. You are asking her to imagine what place she would give to someone like you without saying it directly. You are appealing to her deepest human need to be understood without judgment, to be seen without speaking, to be accepted without having to explain. If a woman feels that you can do that, you are no longer just a man. You become an emotional refuge. This type of question triggers a mental image. She pictures herself with masks, no defenses, just being and being accepted. And the most powerful part, you never asked her to imagine it. You just made it appear. If she replies, "That kind of person is very hard to find," you can say, "Maybe not as hard as you think." Then pause, leave it there, short with intent. Because sometimes silence is the strategist's signature. With this question, you are not looking for a logical answer. You are aiming for a feeling, a thought that stays with her. A thought that resurfaces when she wakes up, when she is alone, or when she remembers that one conversation with you. If even one of these 10 questions made you think, just imagine what they would do if used at the perfect moment with the right look and the right tone. Now, tell me in the comments which of these 10 questions was your favorite. Which one do you plan to use first? Tap like if you want more content like this. Subscribe so you never miss our next videos on psychology, seduction, and emotional strategy. And remember, words can be weapons, but in the hands of the right strategist, they become doors. See you in the next one.